CB on the mic. World Rule Talk. Yeah. CB break it down, yeah, the host with the vision. From the classics to the new, every film get precision. Obscure reels hitting gems, yeah, we dig in the vault. Every frame get examined, every angle we talk. From the old school grain to the high def shine. Indie flicks to the hits, yeah, we cover all time. If it's cinema gold, then you know we gon' say, hit subscribe, tap in, let the critics all play. Yeah, film talk strong, never fading away. World Rule Talk forever and a day longer.
Yo, what up though? This is your boy C Dot to the B Dot coming at y'all once again with another video. So, as y'all know, we completed April Fools, aka April. The 4 movies we did: Class Act, 22 Jump Street, Mrs. Doubtfire, and Kindergarten Cop. But I'm coming at y'all with a bonus video today since it's the last day of the month. I love this movie. It's hilarious, man. I'm a sucker for these type of movies too. You know, going undercover to get back what was, taken or what you left behind. And that movie is Blue Street, starring Martin Laurence. So, the premise of this movie basically is that in the beginning, they were robbing this place. They took this diamond, which was worth $17 million. Him, and there was 3 other people involved, including Dave Chappelle's character. You know what I'm saying? But one of the guys in a group, he turned against the other 2, and he killed one of the guys. You know what I'm saying? It caused him to fall from the building, crashing into a police car. And so now, Miles Logan, which is Martin's character, because of the whole setup, he gets caught. But before he gets caught, he left this diamond in this abandoned building, inside of a ventilation system. And so 2 years later, when he gets out, he first, he stops by his girlfriend's house or whatever, and she don't want to have nothing to do with him anymore because of the whole situation. And then he goes to, the building to retrieve the diamond. But come to find out, while he was locked up, the place was turned into a police station. And so now, he had to figure out a way to get inside to get into the ventilation system to retrieve the diamond. But, at first he tried to do it, disguised as a pizza dude. And that didn't work out too well. So then he gets one of the guys that, he knows to bake. Well, what happened was when he was the pizza guy, it actually did work. I forgot about this part. So what happened was, Luke Wilson's character, he was pretty much new there. And so what Miles did, he shoved the pizzas to him, and then he snatched his security card. And so he went to go see, one of the guys that he know, that can, do fake IDs and all of that. And so he made a fake badge, gave him a fake record and everything like that to get him inside. And so he successfully got inside, and he spoke to the police chief. And, the police chief was impressed with this fake record. And so, Miles, he wanted a place inside the office so he could be near the diamond at all times. So that first chance he got, he can get inside the vent, and steal the diamond or take the diamond back. That's pretty much the premise of the movie. Him going undercover just to retrieve this $17 million diamond. But I feel like, there was one problem with this whole plan. Dave Chappelle's character. Well, him and Peter Green's character. Rest in peace to him, by the way, too. But, these 2 guys were kind of the reason why, he had a hard time, keeping the diamond. One, because when he ran back into Chappelle's character, it was a scene where he went into a corner store looking for aspirin, and then Chappelle's character ran up in there trying to rob the store, but it turns out the clerk wasn't having that, boy. You know what I'm saying? So he started shooting back, and so this is where the two, basically reunited, and he told Dave Chappelle's character that he's playing a cop, and he needed him to play along with the whole situation, but he was making it difficult for Miles to to succeed. And so in order for Miles to get out this situation and for Chappelle's character not to talk, he pretty much did a fake bust. You know what I'm saying? He took him down, and his character got locked up. And so the files that they had on him, Miles pretty much threw him away. You know what I'm saying? Just to get him out of there. You know what I'm saying? To make sure that they didn't have any arrest record on him or whatever. And so now it was all about trying to get this diamond. Trying again. So it was just like big drug shipment from this like organization or whatever. And the two dudes, well, it was like 2 or 3 dudes, in this truck that had the drugs or whatever. And so that Miles and his partner busted them. And so now they taking the drugs to lock up. And so Miles, he wanted to keep the drugs there because that was the only way into getting back into the ventilation system. But the FBI, wanted to take the drugs with them. For the investigation and everything like that. So Miles, before all of that, he had to get the perpetrator, the person working for this organization to talk. And so if Miles was able to get him to talk, then he was able, he would be able to go in and, sift through the drugs or whatever, but he was really trying to get into the ventilation. And so he finally got the dude to talk. And when he went to go, retrieve the diamond, he actually got it this time. But somebody walked in on him, which caused him to drop it in between, the shipment or whatever. So he couldn't get to it in time. And so like this drug lord, they had to meet up with him because Miles came up with this plan to take the drugs to him as bait, or as a sting operation. And so that pretty much went sideways because once again, Dave Chappelle's character screwed everything up. And then Peter Green's character, Deacon, he walked in on him as well. So it was pretty much a reunion, but it was kind of like a gag. Every time he got the diamond, something always messed it up to where he, just couldn't keep it. And so the drug lord, he suspected Miles of being a cop, which, of course he was playing the cop, but, he told Miles, prove to him that he wasn't a cop by shooting his old partner, Deacon. And so he did it with no hesitation. But he wanted, the problem was he wanted Miles to kill Deacon, which, he hesitated until the FBI and the police busted in and pretty much took everybody down. So now it was a chase. Deacon got into one of the armored trucks and he pretty much drove past the Mexican border. And so now Miles, they stopped, the FBI and the police, they couldn't go through the border because it was out of their jurisdiction. And so Miles, again, he wasn't having that. So, he took a cop car, he drove through the Mexican border, and he confronted Deacon. And so, because at this point, Deacon had the diamond. He took it from Miles at gunpoint. And so Miles was willing to do anything to get this diamond back, right? And so when they finally confronted each other, Miles successfully convinced Deacon to hand over the diamond. And he did. And so Miles handcuffed him to the truck and tried to walk away, but Deacon had a extra gun, in his back pocket or whatever. So he pulled it out and tried to shoot Miles, but Miles turned around, put a bullet through his chest, and killed him instantly. And so this is pretty much the end of the movie. So, the two detectives, I was working with Miles. One of them, Luke Wilson's character, he knew, I guess, halfway through the movie who he really was. You know what I'm saying? But since Miles was over the, Mexican border, they couldn't do nothing about it. And so that was pretty much the end of the movie. He got away with the diamond finally, after all the mishaps. But this is crazy. I think they were supposed to do a remake to this film too. I love this film. The first time I seen this film, my stepdad took us to the movies to see it when it came out. You know what I mean? And in the beginning of the movie, when Miles' partner, the one that got into the building with him, when he got killed by Deacon, it was pretty dark. You know what I'm saying? When he fell from the building and hit the police car. It was just the way he crashed through the car, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of this movie, it could get dark. You know what I'm saying? And then you had one scene that stood out to me. I think everybody knows what I'm talking about. This scene stood out to me and a lot of other people. So the first time Miles got into the ventilation system, right? He was crawling through trying to find where he left the diamond. And then he looked down at this office where it was a cop in there or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And so he had like this itchy cream, and he took it and he started rubbing. He started rubbing his balls, yo. And so when Miles finally met him, you know what I'm saying? The dude wanted to shake his hand. He gave him a hug instead, yo. I thought that shit was hilarious, bro. There's a lot of stuff that was funny about this movie. Oh, also, this was also the movie that Dave Chappelle was talking about where they was trying to make him wear a dress. You know what I'm saying? So the scene where Miles got him up out of the police station, and he, out through the back door and told him to run. That scene was supposed to be the scene where, Martin's character dressed him up as a female to, put the disguise on him so he can get him up out of there. But Chappelle wasn't having that. You know what I'm saying? They sent producers to his trailer. They sent the director to his trailer. Everybody's to his trailer. You know what I'm saying? But he was just like, nah, I'm not putting on the dress. So they had to redo the scene and make it look like, he snuck him out the back door behind everybody's back. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I commend Chappelle for that. You know what I'm saying? I really do. I take my hat off to him. But, this was a good film, man. Action was on point. You know what I'm saying? The pace of the film was pretty evened out. You know what I'm saying? I loved it. I stayed awake the whole time because usually if a movie's bad, I'm going to fall asleep. Shout outs to you. The new Matrix film, man. That movie was bad. But anyway, that's pretty much my review for Blue Streak. If I got to give this movie a score, I'm definitely giving it an 8.5, 9 out of 10. I feel like Martin Laurence did a pretty good job in this movie. He had to carry the movie. So, yeah, he successfully did that. So, if you haven't seen it, make sure you check it out. I had the DVD. I'm not sure where it's streaming right now. I'm sure it's streaming somewhere. So, you could probably rent it on YouTube. So, if you could do that, check it out. It's a great film. But, yeah, now, this isn't really a April Fool's review. I just did this to keep it, in the theme of comedies for this last day. But next week, we will definitely be talking about action films. So you guys, please stay tuned for that. And I will be back with you. All right? I will talk to y'all later. Peace.